Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer. And this is a new dark comedy thriller coming your way from writer-director Tolga Karakselik. And this film focuses on John Magaro's Keen, who is indeed a writer, writing about Neanderthals and all kinds of things that nobody finds particularly interesting, but he thinks that he's like reinventing the wheel with, winds up having a shaky relationship with his wife, played by Britt Lower from Severance fame, and things are not going great when she informs him that she wants a divorce after some moments that are a little uncomfortable and a little scary. And he winds up meeting this man, Kolmik, played by Steve Buscemi, who happens to be a retired serial killer. He was active for years and then retired and never was caught. And now he, because of silly circumstances, is now their marriage counselor by day and Magaro's, mentor, showing how to be a serial killer for research counselor by night. And this is such a wild concept, such a wild setup. And it's so darkly funny because there's so much awkwardness in this. Like these sessions that happen between Kolmik trying to work with Susie and Keen is just so awkward and weird and odd that you can't help but have a good time. There's just this underlying dark sense of humor throughout this whole entire film that really brings like a sharpness and a fun sense of energy about it. There's just something totally engaging about this weird film that has such a great, impactful voice to it. Also, it's very gritty and really has this engrossing kind of vibe and look to it. It really gets its hooks into you and just pulls you in. And from start to finish, you're engaged. You're having a ball. You are really experiencing the wildness of this whole scenario. And this concept is wild. And there's some twists and turns in terms of, I think Susie turns out to be probably the most interesting of characters and what's really going on underneath the surface with her. There's silly shenanigans that happen that you would expect out of like a screwball comedy, except this one has serial killers and such. And I think the cast is great. Magaro plays this really awkward writer that has a better sense of himself than he really should. Plays that way. Lower does a really great job of this very distant, uncomfortable woman that there's a mystery about her. And Buscemi just has this vibe, and he's such a talented actor. He brings a lot to the table. You have Sidney Cole Alexander, who plays Susie's best friend, and they have some fun dynamics. This film, narratively, though, is a bit messy. It's a bit clunky and very, anticlimactic in terms of how this film ends. But there are some interesting revelations, especially about Susie, that adds some interesting layers to this. But here's the biggest problem. This film really doesn't have a cohesive, theme. What is this film trying to say? And it feels so muddled throughout. And by the end, you're kind of confused about what this is really trying to present to you. But the ride is so much fun. The performances are so great. The technical aspects really carry their weight too. This is such an interesting, unique concept and such a bonkers journey that it's hard to resist and is certainly worth a watch. But those are my thoughts on Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer. But let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.